Hello and welcome to another one of my videos. Now today I'm going to stay in Russia and complete part 2 of this expired 24-hour ration pack. So let's get their lunch and dinner components out on a tray and see what they look and taste like. And welcome back to part 2 of this Russian 24-hour IRP. This one was menu 3. Now this is the second video. The first one I did the contents and breakfast. So today I'm going to look at the lunch and dinner components. Now to save a little bit of time, I have actually pre-warmed the meals, got everything ready, and it's already on the tray. And for lunch from this particular menu, I'm going to take a look at the rice and beef porridge, or kasha I believe it's called. We have some beef meatballs. We'll take a look at the gum. We also have a coffee, some chocolate, and I have some of the white wheat crackers left over from breakfast in the video 1. Now I've had kasha or rice porridge with beef many times. I always boil them in the tins, and I've always found them to be very greasy and, to be honest, very unenjoyable because of the amount of grease. Now a close friend of mine and friend of the ration community in the US, Tracy Phillips, he commented and says I need to try it fried, because the Russians do come with a little heat source, a stove, and if you did it in the tin it would almost be a frying pan. So I'm going to give that a try, but because I'm at home I've pre-fried the rice porridge and that's sitting there waiting for me there. So we now have the rice and beef, but it has been fried. I've made it go a little bit crispy, just as it would be. You'll get a slight burn if it was cooked in these foil trays. So let's see if that actually improves things. I also need to start making up the drinks. We have here a coffee. Now the part 1, the fruit drinks or the beverage based powders were compromised. This ration is a few years past its best, and the drinks powders had suffered. Now this particular one also looks quite dark. I don't think that's the right colour either. I'm beginning to think the coffee might have compromised too. That's black, that's not a coffee colour. We'll also have a look at, unusually there is a whitener. It's very unusual to find a whitener in these Russian rations, but there is a whitener. And again, this is feeling like the other drinks powders. It's compromised, it's lumpy. I'm not going to go any further. So unfortunately, in these Russian rations, they do not survive. The drinks do not survive much beyond their expected life expectancy. So I'm not going to try that. The coffee granules were black, it wasn't a brown colour, and the whitener is in the same sort of condition as the fruit drinks were in first video. So no hot drink, which is a shame. The tea was very good, so I'm just bringing some water. Troops always have water, so in the event of this there will always be a canteen of water, so it's not like they would go without. And we need to just open one more pack. This is the beef meatballs. Just try not to spill that too and everything. So there is some large meatballs. Looks like there is 4 in a very nice sauce, looking sauce. Very hot. These have been boiled 10 minutes. I'm just going to empty them in there for demonstration again. It's much easier to see in a white bowl. But there's 4 large looking meatballs. And I'll say, just in case we need it, we have some of the crackers left over from the breakfast, and I have salt and pepper on standby. So no actual drink to try. We shall go straight, oh nearly forgot, let's open the chocolate. Let's open it all while I'm here. I was going to go straight to the mains, but we forgot to open the chocolate. So nice dark looking chocolate. Not particularly overbloomed. It has fared well for its age. So nice little chocolate bar. Now, we shall go straight to the rice and beef porridge. As I say, this has been fried. I did allow it to burn on the bottom, scorch a little bit, as suggested by Tracy. So Tracy, let's see if you're right, my friend. You said fry it, it is much better than when it's boiled. That is much drier. The grease has had somewhere to go. In the frying process, it is actually, a lot of it has evaporated or even burned and made a nice crispy shell with the rice. Lightly salted, lightly peppered, soft rice, crunchy, much improved, much better way of cooking. I do find that is a much more accessible, much more enjoyable meal. Also comes across as saltier. The flavours are enhanced. Certainly the use of a heat source underneath the pan, underneath the can, the way it was intended, is the way to eat the rice porridge, the rice and beef porridge. For the first time, actually enjoying that particular dish. So Tracy, my friend, you were spot on. In future, anytime I get the rice and beef or the buckwheat, I'm going to fry it. So let's move on to the next dish. We have the meatballs. So as you can see, there was a lot of gravy. There was 4 meatballs. Let's just chop a piece of those up. It does say it's a beef meatball on the packet. Doesn't look like it's easy to tell it's beef. Let's have a taste. Taste of ground meat. The flavourings of the sauce I've gone through, so it's difficult to tell it's beef, but it does have the ground beef, minced beef texture. There is onion in there. I think there's a little bit of tomato, which is soft, tasty, salted, peppered. There's also some herb in there. I'm not sure which herb it is, basil, oregano, something along those lines, but it's a very tasty, very enjoyable meatball there. Obviously, I'm thinking moisten this up a little bit of the juice in with the rice and buckwheat, the rice and beef porridge. Wow, exceptionally good combination. Now it is crispy, a crispy tinge to the rice. This is an excellent combination. It moistens it, it helps everything come together. Some of the meatball and the porridge there. Good choice. Right combination for me. The two are just going together. This will become my lunch. This is a much more enjoyable way of eating that porridge. I keep saying it because I must have made now 6 videos, and each time I say I dislike the rice and the beef because of the grease. Frying it is definitely the way. So in a mess tin on a stove is the way to make it. I'm not going to eat the cracker. I don't think it's needed. It was seen in the first video. It's a simple white wheat cracker. Nice snap. Not like the Panzer plates found in other European rations. I just eat a little corner just to. Nice and easy to chew. A good base cracker would go perfectly with that, with no hesitation. Do need a little mouth cleanser. Look at the chocolate. 8 little briquettes. Dark chocolate, nice snap. Very little blooming for its age. Brittle chocolate, Bites easy. High cocoa content. Very difficult to say again. Around about the 50%. Most European chocolates are around about the 50 to 60% cocoa. Like I said many times, for me that's a nice combination of bitter and sweet. It gets the perfect combination. A good, nice, dark style chocolate, good quality. Finally, I have salt and pepper on standby, and for the first time in the rice and beef, I don't feel like I need it. The frying has enhanced, so I'm not going to use the salt and pepper. I'm going to take a look at the Mentos Gum. So there is a packet of gum. Very difficult to count. There's about 10 little briquettes of gum. Let's have a taste of one of those. Bubblegum flavour. Not the spearmint, not the peppermint. There was a hint there. In the UK, when I was at school, we used to have little pink gums for children, and they was called Hubba Bubbas. Anyone from the UK would know them instantly. That's exactly the flavour that they have, a Hubba Bubba. I think in the US, the old style bubble gum flavour would be their close one. I'm not sure, I never tried US bubble gum, but I've heard mention it's very similar to old Hubba Bubba. So, slight hint of mint, but more like the refresh old school Hubba Bubba. So, overall, very impressed. I didn't think I'd be saying that with the rice and the beef. So once again, Tracy, thank you for the suggestion. That is definitely the way I should be going in future every time I have that. So I'm going to leave this here. Very enjoyable. I'm going to finish this for my lunch. And please join me in a minute when I take a look at the final meal or the evening dinner components. So just bye for now. And welcome back to this third and final meal from this Russian 24-hour IRP. And for the final meal, I think I'm going to take a look at the beef with beans and vegetables, or meat with beef, beans and vegetables. There is a vegetable caviar, which is seen in most Russian rations. And there is a tub of lard or pork fat. Sometimes it translates as bacon, but mainly it just comes across when translation as lard with bacon or pork. So I've also got the last an apple butter, and take a look at the back of the brown crackers. There is no drinks left. All the coffee were compromised. The 3 beverage base powders were compromised. There is 1 tea, but I'm going to forgo that and just have water from, as I say, the soldiers will always have water in their canteens. So I think we need to start preparing. Now, I'll just see many times before. This is the apple jam, apple butter, usually good quality. This one was made in March 2018, so hopefully it's still okay. So I think I'll just bring in my old friend just to take the corner off the apple jam. We'll also have a look at the vegetable caviar. Now I sometimes prefer this hot, sometimes cold, but it does say in the small print refrigerate before use, so I'm having it cold as it suggests this time. Now this is basically pureed vegetables. I think it is courgette or zucchini in the US as they call it there, carrots, onions and a few other vegetables in a puree. Looking at that now, I'm beginning to wonder if I would have been better warming it, but it did say chill before serving. I'm also going to have a look at the lard or bacon, whichever you prefer, but I've seen these before, I've had these before. Again, this said chill before serving, so I've not warmed it up. Very difficult to open, very well sealed, so I'm going to bring in my trusty old friend to help open this one. I have had one of these before. I have heated it up and it turned into a vat of liquid fat. So now, as you can see, it's a tub of set fat with some what looks like bacon pieces in there. If I have any Russian viewers, if you could let me know what is the traditional way of eating this particular thing. Is it hot or is it cold? Do you have it cold like this or congealed, or do you normally warm it and have little bacon pieces swimming in hot grease? I would be interested in finding out what is the proper way or traditional way of eating the fat there. And of course the mains is meat with vegetables and beans. Meat with beans and vegetables. So let's open this up. It's a lot thicker than I was anticipating, so I think I've done right by having the vegetable caviar there to give it some moisture, and it does look like it's a very thick, very set meal there. So I'll just pour that into the bowl for a little easy viewing. Now again, this is the first time I've seen this. It's a very strange looking. There is a high smell of kidney beans, red beans, like the chili beans. Strange smell, strange component to my own tastes. Let's get that bit of a break up there. And finally, last but not least, I'm just going to open these bran or brown crackers. They are a lot thinner than the white wheat cracker, much thinner. There is still 8 per pack, so totally different cracker style. So where shall we start? So I'm just going to start off by just cleansing my palate, and I think we'll go straight to the mains. Now this is meat with beans and vegetables. Not at all what I was expecting. I was expecting more of a stew type meal. There is a very strong kidney bean smell coming from it. Let's have a little taste of the whole component. Very flavoured with the beans. The beans are extremely prominent. If you've ever eaten the kidney bean, or I think, well, you have a chili bean maybe in the US, but there is no chili kick, there is no heat. Very firm. The beans were al dente, just cooked. There is a lot of salt, a lot of pepper. The beef is in the background. Very high in fibre, very fibrous. Those skins on those beans, as you chew them, you can feel the skins coming off the beans. Very high fibre meal. Not unpleasant, but for my own taste, it's something very little different. Can't say I'm enjoying that, just because of the texture of the beans. They are so thick, so heavy, and they are only just cooked, so they are taking some chewing. Personally, I think that would benefit from being a little bit more cooked, but certainly a fibrous and a filling meal. I'll take a look at this vegetable caviar. So again, I didn't warm this one. This one's cold. It did say refrigerate before opening. Many times before I've had this. It is just basically, as the name suggests, it is ground pureed vegetable, slightly flavoured with salt and pepper, but apart from that, very little other flavourings, just vegetable seasoning, vegetable flavours. Just try a little bit with the beans there, just to give it a bit more moisture. Certainly helps. Again, I think the instructions on this one was slightly wrong. I personally think this one would be better warmed, and then it would go better in the bean and meat mains, but still nice moistening agent for what would be otherwise a very dry. I keep trying to bring it to the camera to show you. It's a very dry dish. Certainly needs a little bit of extra moisture. So just refresh my palate once more. Now come to have a look at the bacon or lard. Depending on the translation, it seems to give you various of it, but it is exactly what it looks like. It just looks like set lard with little pieces of bacon or ham in there. I'll taste them. Certainly not the healthiest thing out there. As it looks is as it tastes. It does taste like you're just eating lard with small pieces of smoked bacon. Not my thing, because it's not something we usually eat, but on a cold Russian day, cold Russian winter, I'm sure that extra grease will come in useful, help flavour, help keep you warm. Let's have a look at one of these wheat brown crackers, nice crisp. Very simplistic flavour. Does taste very similar to the white wheat cracker, but there is a bran sort of little background taste. Let's just try a little bit of this on the cracker, see if it's better off in like a spread or a paste. So almost like it's a butter almost, but it is lard with bacon. Certainly a more acceptable way to eat it, but still, as it looks is as it tastes. I'm sure everybody out there can imagine biting a block of lard. The only difference is this has been soaked with a little bit of smoked bacon, so it's a slightly smoked flavoured lard. Goes better with the cracker. Good cracker. Nice way of incorporating some extra fibre. But with the beans, certainly fibre is not an issue. I've got a little bit of that lard on the spoon there. Let's try it with the beans. Certainly is the better way to eat it. It just takes away a little bit of that fat, greasy, slimy feeling on your tongue. I can see if that was melted and poured in, the grease would help with the beans, but it's still, for myself, my own personal taste, a very unusual meal combination. Just need to refresh my palate. And last but not least, we'll take a look at this apple butter, apple jam. Seen in many rations before. I'm going to squeeze it out. It's like a thick apple puree, usually nice and sweet, so there's a nice chunk there on the brown biscuits, the brown cracker. Enjoyable, sweet, tasty, a nice way of getting a sweet bit of pudding, a little bit of after meal sweetness. Good taste of apple, plenty of sugar, nicely set, nice and thick, good taste. Goes very well on the base cracker. It's a great after meal piece of sweetness. Excuse me, that was a large bite. Just need to help spill that down. So, overall, the final meal I think was the most disappointing. Certainly, the only thing I would have trouble finishing would be the grease. But if somebody in the US, in Russia, I was going to say the United States, somebody in Russia could let me know, how do you normally eat this particular component? Is it hot or is it cold as it is now? But the rest of the meal was not my best. Overall, this Russian IRP menu 3 from 2018. Overall, tasty, good quality. Apart from the drinks, survived well past its best before date. The drinks did suffer, but overall a very enjoyable taste of a Russian 24-hour meal pack. So I'm going to leave it here. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe and hit that notification button for future videos coming very soon. So thank you and goodbye.